MMA World Expo here in New York City. It's at the Jacob Javits Center. With us is Eddie Goldman, and it's going to be, the topic today is catch wrestling. Eddie, first of all, could you explain to our audience what is catch wrestling?
Very simply, in catch wrestling, unlike other styles, you can only win either by pin or submission. In other words, if you've seen high school or college wrestling, you have pins and points. No points in this style, but you do have pins. But you have submissions, like in other styles of wrestling and grappling, like in jiu-jitsu and some styles of judo and sambo and other styles where you could get a joint lock, an arm lock, a leg lock. Some styles allow chokes, like rear naked chokes, head and arm chokes, various things, double wrist locks, lots of things like this. And this is really one of the oldest and most exciting styles of wrestling. And about 100 years ago, when professional wrestling was still to a large degree a real sport, we're not talking about the WWE, Hulk Hogan-ish type stuff, when it was a real sport in the days of Frank Gotch and Farmer Burns and people like that, the style they used was catch as catch can, or simply put, catch wrestling. And now it's being revived. And what's really exciting about today here, it's been 94 years since New York has seen real catch wrestling have championship matches. On January 30th, 1920, and no, I was not at that match, at the second Madison Square Garden, which was then down on 23rd Street, Madison Square Park, Joe Stecker captured the World Heavyweight Wrestling Championship from Earl Caddick in 2 hours and 5 minutes, and a little longer than that, under catch wrestling rules. Then, of course, we know catch wrestling became what happened to pro wrestling. It just degenerated completely away from sport. Now a lot of people, some with roots to the old days, are reviving catch wrestling as a real sport. And here at the Expo, there's going to be the Catch as Catch Can 2014 championships taking place right here in New York City. It's very exciting.
And we're going to get a chance to take a look at some of these wrestlers. And as you said before, what can we look forward to today?
There are going to be, from what I've been told, about 30 competitors total, about 4 or 5 women. There'll be weight classes for the men. The last I was told, there just aren't enough women to have weight classes, so they'll be having sort of a round robin or no weight class where they'll all be competing. You have some people that have been champions, that have been really good wrestlers in other styles, but this coming back as a real sport is relatively new. So a lot of people have not actually competed in a competitive match. Again, you have high school, college wrestling, all that. A lot of people have competed in that. This being brought back is new. On June 7th in Los Angeles, the Catch Wrestling Alliance had a big event on the campus of UCLA. And now this event here at the MMA World Expo is starting to attract more and more wrestlers with really good wrestling backgrounds that want to rebuild some type of real professional wrestling. In other words, wrestling where people get paid like any other spectator sport, baseball, basketball, you name it. But it's real, it's not staged like the WWE. So that's the challenge. Is a long way to go, but catch is back. Catch wrestling is back. And for a lot of wrestlers that finish their college or high school careers, they're looking for something to do. They really love the sport. I would encourage people, find one of the many gyms that more and more are starting to offer training in catch wrestling. And a lot of people I've spoken to have just completely fallen in love with it and said, wow, I wish this existed. I wish I found out about this sooner.
And just to end this, what do you think the future for wrestling is in the high schools?
High school wrestling in the United States, the numbers are actually growing. The participation numbers are growing. People really love the sport. They really love to do it. It's not, the problem is on a higher level. It's growing in college, but not on the Division I level. where it's been mismanaged and there are political problems. And this is the basic problem that you see in international wrestling. You have the people running it for various reasons do not know how to market and promote the sport. Some of the people are just overworked, and there have to be professional people to do that. You look at, say, the New York Yankees, okay? They have their marketing and their professional people getting the word out. They obviously have a ton of money coming in a long tradition. However,
that is a big word, money.
However, they don't have Derek Jeter as the head of marketing. Derek Jeter may be interviewed and in the advertisement, but they don't have them doing that. Wrestling tends to have the Derek Jeters of wrestling doing everything. And you know what? You can't do. Derek Jeter will tell you he doesn't want to be a manager. It's not for him. He knows he's a great baseball player, but he knows there's certain things he can do and can't do. So that's what wrestling needs. But you know, a lot of us have been saying that for a long time. And the people with the greatest understanding of the need to market and promote the sport today are gathering internationally in catch wrestling. And every week is just one little indication of it. If you look at Facebook, I'm not a big fan of Facebook, but it's just like every week there's another catch wrestling page all around the world, not just in the United States, Canada, a lot of them in the UK, Italy, Guatemala, China, Singapore, all over the place people are doing this, and this is getting really exciting as people are realizing that this style could offer wrestling a chance to have a real professional sport, which would lift everything up down to the lowest levels and the kids' levels and all of that. So it's very exciting, and it's proven as a style that can draw people. When Frank Gotch wrestled George Hackenschmidt for the World Heavyweight title in their rematch in 1911, they had over 30,000 fans in Chicago at the then newly constructed Comiskey Park, which is a place, of course, where the White Sox played for many, many years. That's how popular that it was. But you had corrupt promoters, they turned it phony and all of that. Now you had some people that are committed to legitimate sport. You win by pin or submission, no points, no judges, none of the politics, none of the baloney that you see all over, and they could use harsher words than baloney, exists in this sport, and it's exciting, but it's a long, long way to go. It's small, it's being rebuilt, but it reminds me in a lot of ways the early days of MMA in the 1990s when it started bringing in all these people from around the world, all these creative people. That's what catch wrestling is doing. But it needs the money, it needs a business plan, it needs TV exposure, it needs a lot of work. So it's not going to, you're not just going to turn on the TV tomorrow and see it, but maybe soon.
Okay, and we're here once again at the MMA Expo here in New York City, and it's catch wrestling. So let's go to the event.
Thank you.
Thank you. Eddie Goldman.
My friend Kristal Hart.